It's late. The only light in the room is the blue glow of your screen, casting long shadows on the wall. You're scrolling, but you're not really seeing anything. An engagement photo flashes by, a LinkedIn post announcing a promotion, a friend's perfect sun-drenched vacation. And in that quiet moment, a question bubbles up from the deep. A heavy, formless question that you quickly push back down. What am I even doing? This feeling, this sense of being adrift in your own life, it's not just you, it's a silent epidemic of our generation. We're told we have more opportunities than any generation in history, but for so many of us, that freedom feels less like a gift and more like a crushing weight. It feels like being handed 1,000 keys with no idea which doors they open, or if any of them are the right one for us. Today, we're not just going to talk about why you feel lost. We're going to talk about how to forge your own path, not by finding a map, but by building a compass.
To understand how to move forward, we first have to understand the forces holding us in place. It's not a personal failure, it's the landscape we're navigating. There are three powerful illusions at play. First is the illusion of the shattered blueprint. Think about previous generations. For many, life followed a kind of blueprint. Graduate, get a stable job, get married, buy a house, retire. It was a linear, predictable path. That blueprint has been shattered into a million pieces. The world we inherited is one of fluid careers, gig economies, and constant change. The idea of a job for life is a relic of the past. This isn't necessarily bad. It's dynamic and full of potential. But here's the psychological trap. When the external structure is gone, we are forced to create our own. And that requires a level of self-knowledge and certainty that most of us, especially in our 20s, simply don't have yet. We're standing in the rubble of the old way, being told to build a castle without any instructions. Second, we are battling the illusion of the perfect choice. This is a modern phenomenon psychologists call the paradox of choice. The theory is simple. The more options we have, the less satisfied we become with any single one. Imagine you're standing in a hallway with 1,000 doors. Behind each one is a different life. You could be a coder in Berlin, a marine biologist in Australia, a freelance artist, a teacher, an entrepreneur. You're so terrified of opening the wrong door that you just stand in the hallway. You stay in the job you don't love, you put off the creative project, you delay the move. Paralysis becomes our default state. We tell ourselves we're just waiting for clarity, but what we're really doing is waiting for a guarantee that doesn't exist. The pursuit of the perfect choice becomes the enemy of any good choice. If this is resonating with you so far, do me a small favor and hit the like button. It really helps the channel reach more people who might be feeling this exact same way. Thank you for that. Now, for the third and most insidious illusion, the digital ghost. This is the curated version of a life that haunts us from our screens. It's the ghost of the person we think we should be by now. This ghost is wildly successful, perpetually traveling, in a perfect relationship, and has a flawless morning routine. We know it's not real. Logically, we understand it's a highlight reel. But our subconscious mind doesn't care about logic. It sees a constant stream of evidence that we are behind an imaginary schedule. This creates a low-humming, chronic anxiety, a feeling that we're failing at a game we never even signed up to play. So, with no blueprint, too many choices, and a digital ghost whispering that we're not enough, is it any wonder we feel lost?
The good news is you don't need to find a pre-made map. You just need to learn how to read your own internal compass. Here are 3 practical ways to do that. First, adopt the North Star method. Forget the overwhelming pressure to find your passion. It's too big. Instead, find your direction. And you do that by identifying your core values. Values are not goals, they are the principles that guide your journey. Let me tell you about Anna. She was offered 2 jobs. Job A was prestigious, high-paying, but required 60-hour weeks in a fiercely competitive environment. Job B, paid less, was at a smaller company, but emphasized work-life balance and a collaborative team. The old blueprint would scream to take Job A, but Anna sat down and asked herself, what truly matters to me? She realized a core value for her was connection. Connection to her friends, her family, and herself. Job A would sacrifice that value for status. Job B would honor it. She took Job B, and for the first time in years, she felt like she was moving in the right direction. Your values, be they freedom, stability, creativity, service, or connection, are your North Star. When you make a decision, big or small, just ask, does this move me closer to my North Star or further away? Second, embrace the scientist mindset. To escape the paralysis of choice, you must lower the stakes. Stop thinking like a person who has to make a life-altering decision and start thinking like a scientist running small, low-cost experiments. You don't commit to becoming a chef. You commit to taking one weekend cooking class. You don't decide to change your entire career to UX design. You spend a few nights on a free online course building a simple app prototype. Here's the reframe that will change your life. There is no failure in an experiment. There is only data. Did you hate the cooking class? Great, that's valuable data. Now you can cross chef off the list with confidence, not regret. Did you enjoy the UX design course? More data. Now you can design the next, slightly bigger experiment. This mindset transforms overwhelming choices into a series of curious, manageable steps. Now, I know that hearing advice like find your values and run experiments can feel a little abstract. It's one thing to understand these ideas, but it's another to actually sit down and apply them to the beautiful, messy complexity of your own life. That is the exact reason I've spent the last few months creating a tool specifically for this. It's a digital, guided workbook called the Clarity Compass. I designed it to be the bridge between watching this video and actually making a change. It's filled with the specific exercises, journal prompts, and step-by-step templates you need to uncover your North Star values, design your first low-stakes experiments, and begin silencing that voice of comparison. It's not a magic pill, but it is a practical, powerful guide to help you do the work. If you're ready to stop just thinking about finding direction and start taking concrete steps, the link to the Clarity Compass is at the very top of the description below. I truly believe it can. Here's the one truth I want you to walk away with today. Feeling lost is not a symptom of you being broken. It is a sign that you are paying attention. It's a sign that you refuse to blindly walk a path that doesn't feel true to you. It's the ache of a soul that knows it's meant for a journey of its own making. Society has a word for people who wander off the beaten path: lost. But I think there are better words: explorer, pioneer, storyteller. You are not failing because your life doesn't look like a straight line. The most beautiful landscapes are not found on the highway, they're found on the scenic detours, the winding back roads, and the paths you have to forge for yourself. This period of your life, this confusion, this uncertainty, is not a waiting room you have to endure until your real life begins. This is your life. This is the part of the story where the character develops their strength. This is the chapter where you collect the skills, the wisdom, and the self-trust you will need for everything that comes next. So the next time you feel that late-night anxiety, I want you to gently reframe the question. Instead of asking, "What am I even doing?" try asking, with a sense of curiosity and self-compassion, "What data can I collect tomorrow?" You're not lost. You're in discovery mode, and that is a powerful, hopeful place to be. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Again, if you want that guided workbook to help you put all of this into action, the Clarity Compass is linked right at the top of the description. It's the first link you'll see. What's one small experiment you feel inspired to try this week? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. And finally, if this video brought you any value or clarity, please consider subscribing to the channel so we can continue these conversations together. Be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.